It is Premiership Semi-Final weekend and the teams have been selected for Leicester Tigers versus Sale Sharks in the second semi-final on Saturday. And in this video, I'll go through all the choices, discuss the matchups and give you my prediction for who will make it to the Premiership Final next week. Hello amateurs and welcome back to the channel. Hope to see you here again for some more content at some point. Now then, the build up to this one. First of all, it's a 3:30 p.m. kickoff at Mattioli Woods, Welford Road. A bit of a strange time, that one. We don't see that too often. The coaches this week have got a lot of airtime. Michael Checker talked about fast forwarding a lot of the development that he was working on after the absolute hammering they got at Toulouse. And sometimes you just need a jolt like that as a team and as an organisation just to kick things forwards. And he definitely feels like that was the case for Leicester this season. And they've been on a bit of a run recently in terms of like they feel like they've always had to win. Kind of this win or go home feeling in terms of their Premiership chances. And Checker said this week, I felt that has made us more ready now when it genuinely is win or go home. I'd have preferred to be like 20 points out in front for sure, but that's not the way it was. So let's take advantage of the benefits we get from being in that situation. Yeah, so they've basically been playing knockout rugby for a little while now. Alex Sanderson, on the other hand, he was really emotional after last week's win down in Exeter that clinched their playoff spot. And it was tight at the end. Exeter were pushing really hard and Sale kind of hung on, to be honest, in the end. But he's been talking about the fact that they've been Premiership finals before a couple of years ago. And he said, but there are only so many times you can knock at the door. And at some point, you have to try and kick it off its hinges. The team, the group, we just want more. Very Alex Sanderson that. And yeah, they've clearly got a huge amount of motivation leading into this one, along with the fact that Tigers beat them 44-34 a month ago. What are the odds on us getting a high-scoring game like that this time? I'd say it's slightly less likely. Both these teams are able to play a pragmatic game if they want, and this is finals rugby now. So we might well be seeing that. In terms of Tigers, let's look at their team. Bring that up on screen now. But the big thing about Tigers, regardless of the team they selected, is the amount of change that's going to happen this summer with Michael Checker leaving, Ben Youngs, Dan Cole, Mike Brown, three absolute bona fide Premiership legends retiring from the game, along with Andre Pollard leaving as well. So there's going to be massive change. And the man on screen there, of course, Julian Montoya as well. So this feels a little bit, for the time being at least, like last chance saloon. If Leicester Tigers are going to win this Premiership, it feels like it needs to be now, or they're going to have to wait until this, what is an inevitable rebuild over the next couple of seasons to really take grasp. Freddie Stewart in at fullback. Centres, Catter and Woodward have been going really well, and Radwan is a man on fire since he joined Tigers midway through the season. Okay, on to Sale. And here we go. The big thing about Sale Sharks, they've had an outstanding Premiership season. They managed to get 4 players into the team of the season. Ben Curry, George Ford, who is back to playing some of his best rugby at fly half. Rob Dupree at outside centre, Mr. Versatile, and Tom Roebuck on the right wing, all in the team of the season, the Premiership team of the season. What do I like about this team, though? I like this front row. I love this front row. In fact, they got character. They got strength, they got ball playing ability, they got gnarl. It is a really good blend of different types of players across that front row. And I just want to pick out a Apoko Fajor. He's 20 years old. He's come in the Premiership and been an outstanding performer in his first year. It's only the fact that everybody's talking about Henry Pollock that's allowed this to go a little bit under the radar. I think to come in as a 20-year-old and do what he's done, along with Afa Fasogbon as well at Gloucester, to be fair, who's done very well as well, it's a minor miracle. Like, it just doesn't happen for props that young, especially on the tight end side. So I think he's an outstanding prospect, and I'm looking forward to his matchup this weekend with Nicky Smith, who is a very, very good scrummager himself. The Curry boys paired in the back row there, and I think this Sale Sharks forward pack is going to be going all out to dominate this game. I feel like they're going to want to put their marker down and it's going to be a brutal, absolutely brutal encounter up front. Okay, then, key matchups. Where do we think? Well, first of all, missing for Leicester Tigers and has been for a while, George Martin. And I think he's a big loss around the park, but I think genuinely, I think the scrum is a massive area of strength for him. And I think Leicester's scrum is nowhere near as strong without him in it. It is a massive difference to them. And I'll pick out Joe Hayes. Like, I think he's scrummed really well for England this year when he's played. And I've thought of him as maybe a slightly inconsistent scrummager. He can have good scrums, but he can have bad ones as well. But for England, he's scrummed really well the entire time. Back at Leicester, not so much. And I can only point that towards the people that are around him and the scrum as a whole, because that certainly does affect you as a tight end. You are not doing it on your own by any means. So I wonder how big that George Martin scrum loss is. And also, then let's just look at the psychology of those Sale props. They were in the England squad, the pair of them, and not selected at all. They were always third choice throughout the entire tournament. So what an opportunity for them to really put their hands up and go after two props that are currently, according to international coaches, rated higher than them. And I think that's what we're going to see. I think we're going to see Sale go after this scrum, absolutely try and marmalise these Tigers forwards, take it away from them at Welford Road and go after that. I think the size of Johnny Hill in the second row makes a massive difference. I think their second row forwards are bigger and stronger, and I think they're going to go for it. And while we're talking about that, Johnny Hill's kind of the forgotten man of England's second row play. At one point, it looked like he was, laid out for 60, 70 caps coming his way, and it just fell out of favour and has never looked in with a chance since, really. All the while, he's actually playing some very good rugby again now. Discipline issues seem to be slowly fading away, and he's got the opportunity to go against England's incumbent and future British Lion, Ollie Chesham, at the weekend. I think we might see some fireworks there. Can he hold his nerve? Can he hold his discipline, though? That could be a key factor. Into the backs, and I'm going to pick out Woodward and Matty White, the two centres who actually are former England under-20 teammates, and they have both had outstanding seasons. All-round players, the pair of them, they can all do everything, really. Woodward in particular has got a great kicking game. Matty White maybe more of a carrier and a tackler. I think that could be a key battleground in the midfield there. What space can they get? What go forward can they get for their team? How well can they defend? And the last matchup, and this is not a direct man-on-man, but I think this might try and get engineered for both teams, depending on what they're trying to achieve. And this is Aaron Reid on the left wing for Sale and Freddie Stewart at fullback for Leicester Tigers. I think Leicester will try and win some aerial battles. I think they'll put it on Reid's head and try and get Stewart chasing those kicks to win it in the air. Of course, he is the best, one of the best, if not the best in the world at doing that. However, if Aaron Reid can get a one-on-one with Freddie Stewart, then I suspect Stewart may not even get a hand on him. We've seen it regularly. If somebody's got pace and got good footwork, Freddie really struggles with that. And I can see Aaron Reid leaving Freddie Stewart grasping at air, probably maybe more than once in this semi-final. We shall see, but I think that's a key matchup as well. Psychology of this one, Sale haven't won anything for quite some time. They made that final a couple of years ago, but they've been scratching around. They've gone through a few rebuilds at various times. They've promised a lot, but never actually brought anything home. So I don't know if that'll be weighing on these guys' shoulders. I think all the modern thinking, the way the psychology professionals will go about this is they would be able to shelve that. They're just looking at their team, what they're doing now to get the best results. But they would love to get a trophy. I've no doubt about that. They would love to make another final first off. And as I mentioned earlier, it feels like a little bit of a last dance for Leicester Tigers. If they lose this game, that'll be Ben Youngs' last game. That'll be Dan Cole's last game. Mike Brown's not playing, so it might already have been his last game. That's what it feels like. It feels like the end of the road for this Leicester Tigers team. And that can bring some good emotion with it as well. So I feel like we're going to see an absolutely firecracker at the Mattioli Woods, Welford Road on Saturday. In terms of tactics, this is fascinating because I would say both these teams have a very similar way they go about playing rugby. They can play it tight. They like to be physical up front. They like to be gnarly and abrasive. but they can move the ball wide. They have got electric backs, both of them, and they've got a really varied kicking game. Both these teams can play a high ball game. They can do cross kicks. They also do a lot of chips over the top as well. So this is going to be an interesting to see what tools they take out of their toolkit to use this weekend, because they can play a lot of different ways. I suspect Sale are going to go real hammer and tongs for forward dominance. I think that's going to be their thing. I think they're going to try and put their foot on Tigers' neck and hold it there. Tigers, I think we might see them move the ball around a little bit more. I think we might try and see them play just a little bit looser. Of course, they're going to want to go forward first, but I feel like they may potentially go wide or try and get those contestable kicks to win those and then go from there. Who's going to win? The big question. And I feel like this is a tighter semi-final than the other one on Friday night between Bath and Bristol. I feel like this genuinely could go either way. But I just think Sale are going to have too much. I think their front five power is going to be too much. I think the power they can bring on off the bench in particular might be too much towards the end. So I'm going to go for Sale. But I think this could be a really tight game. There'll be tries, I'm sure, but I think it could be a real tight game all the way through, with George Ford just getting it done ahead of double World Cup winner Andre Pollard. Okay, that's what I think, but what do you think? Let me know in the comments down below. Are there any other factors that you think will play a key role? Which players that I haven't mentioned do you think might be very important for their team on Saturday afternoon? As I say, let me know in the comments down below. Give this video a thumbs up while you're down there if you don't mind, and come back for the review, the match review, which I'll be doing after this game. Go through it all, fine detail, and discuss all the points, and congratulate whichever team made it through to the Premiership Final. All right, that's it for this one. You can subscribe there. You can watch that one next. Don't forget to get out and play.